In a southern Sydney church, the local rector begins a political forum with a call for calm.
We pray for an evening of honest, constructive and civil discussions.
This rare gathering of Kogarah's candidates in next week's New South Wales election includes the sitting member, ALP leader Chris Minns, who defends the thinnest margin in the state, fewer than 100 votes. The prayer for peace is apt because of the depth of feeling about one key issue: pokies.
In Kogarah alone, we lose $2.4 million, not every year, but every week.
We've got to be honest, we're running mini casinos. That's what we're running.
Former Clubs New South Wales insider Troy Stoltz is now an independent anti-pokies candidate in Kogarah, determined to strip votes from the ALP leader.
I feel for Chris. I think Chris is a decent person and I support the Labor values, but on this very issue I think Labor's gone missing and Chris as well.
Last month, New South Wales Premier Dominic Perrottet promised to make all poker machines cashless by 2029.
Today, we fix money laundering, we fix problem gambling, and we support pubs and clubs across New South Wales.
The powerful pubs and clubs lobby hates the idea. Chris Minns' plan is more limited.
We will do a trial of 500 machines across New South Wales, and if the technology proves that it works, we'll implement it.
A trial of 500 machines out of 90,000.
Well, what struck me about this event tonight is that the majority of people in the audience and 3 of the 4 candidates are strongly committed to effective poker machine reform. And I thought Chris Minns stood out as the outlier.
The would-be Premier is gambling that pokey reform won't sway many votes. He won't mirror the coalition strategy because he says it might not work.
I don't want to be in a position where we're implementing technology that's only tried and in operation in one jurisdiction in the entire world, and that's in Norway, where despite the best intentions about reform, it in fact makes a bad situation worse.
Is part of this about trying to avoid a powerful campaign against the Labor Party from the clubs lobby?
No, I mean, I don't think that many people would say that in the current political context, it's their campaign is dominating the political narrative, either against me or against the Premier or against third-party candidates or against any independent that's running in the seat of Kogarah.
Polls suggest a narrow ALP victory in New South Wales, ending 12 years of coalition government. But in Kogarah, the poker machine issue has given Chris Minns' local opponents something to work with.
So who do you think crossed out for gaming there?
Someone that's lost.
Someone that's lost, yeah. Wasn't you.
Not me, no. Here I am.
Former World Vision head Tim Costello is campaigning with Troy Stoltz.
It should be called gambling, not gaming for a start. Games are kids.
Labor are in terrible agony over this. I have Labor people ringing me. Labor donors offering money for any Labor MP that will support the cashless card. And Chris Minns won't let them take it.
The people who care about pokies really care. But in focus groups and opinion polls, most voters say it's not a huge issue for them. With rents and mortgages and bills soaring, they've got much bigger problems.
In our polling, it's a salient issue for about 3% of the electorate. So, whilst it's an important issue, it's not what's top of mind for voters right now. It's an issue that has perhaps been over-indexed by the Liberal Party.
Tony Barry is a former Liberal Party strategist who's been analysing the New South Wales electorate.
What is moving votes is cost of living, a little bit of climate change, which has been largely neutralised by the New South Wales Liberal government, and then it's daylight third.
It's a big hit on Saturdays. The local Liberal candidate is on the hustings today with the state's treasurer.
Craig Jim's here with us, and he's a great fellow. We've got to get beside him. The Liberal Party really do a lot for us.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thanks, Johnny. Nice. I'll get one of those.
Their message isn't about pokies. It's on economic management, sprinkled with reminders about the government's cash handouts.
There's all of these vouchers. Do you get some of the vouchers? There's 70 vouchers there.
Yes, we do.
And some of them for small business.
Yes, we do. Lots of those.
I say to our supporters, at 35 votes, you only need to turn one at a time to make a big difference to this outcome.
But Craig Chung is battling a perception the coalition has been in too long.
I've heard a couple of people say to me, oh, you know, look, 12 years is long enough and maybe it's time. But if you had a teacher for your child and they did a great job for 10 years, would you say, I'm going to get rid of them? No, you'd want to keep them because they've got a great record of delivering.
Across the political fence, Chris Minns must overcome some negative perceptions too. The last time Labor was in power, its government included Eddie Obeid and Ian McDonald, who were subsequently jailed for corruption.
I would just say to the voters of New South Wales that we've been out of power for 12 years. We have put and will put in policy measures to make sure the Independent Commission Against Corruption is independently financed, that they can pursue and follow investigations wherever they land. And we support the ICAC not because it investigates our political opponents, but because it investigates us.
Before you win the state, you've got to win your own seat. Are you going to win it?
I hope so, but it's always been, or generally been, a swing district going back 20, 30 years. It's a tough electorate for Labor to win, and I don't take anything for granted.